Half a day, Flosstube.
I'm Eldest.
I'm Little One.
And I'm Lynette at Homesteading on the Home Front. It is Friday, January 26th, and we are back for episode number 14. We got new shirts. They say half a day. I thought it was only, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fitting.
Fitting? Yes, since everyone else, all the other mother-daughter teams have matching shirts. So I was at Kmart the other day and saw these and decided that we needed them. There was recently, I think it was a Wall Street Journal article about the Kmart here on Guam. I might link it below if you're interested. Apparently it does like 10 times the revenue of the highest grossing store in the continental U.S. It was an interesting read even for those of us who shop there. Anyway, only one of us has finished objects to show you, but we've got some projects to show and share and plans to talk about. The kids are off from school because it is Professional Development Day. So we thought we'd bang out a video and keep you updated. So, FFOs.
This is Little House Needleworks Reading, Writing, Stitching.
Careful with the glare.
That's a little better.
There you go. I found a frame at the thrift store for 50 cents and brought it home, and she approved, so we framed it up. Looks pretty good.
The color was supposed to be red, but my favorite color is purple, so we changed that.
And finished objects.
I finished this last night. It's Little House Needleworks, the library. It's just the mystery part of it. We converted the classic colorworks to DMC, so the colors are a little bit different. But I'm happy with it.
And if you haven't seen the pattern before, this is what it looks like. She's stitching each of the genres separately, and we will find a cute way to finish them when she's done stitching all of them. All right, whips. Eldest, do you want to talk about your whip?
So I am still working on the shirt that I'm stitching. So it's looking a bit more like a horse right now.
I would tease her for many nights that she was stitching a white blob, but it actually is starting to look like a horse. So she's slowly but surely churning it out. Maybe by the time we leave Guam, it'll be done. And what about you? What are you going to be working on now that she just finished this one last night? So I think knowing that there was a Flosstube episode looming was a good incentive.
This, I haven't ever shown this, I don't think. This is the one that I started in 2nd grade.
And that's what it's looked like for the past 4 years.
Yep. This is a freebie.
Blackbird Designs, it's just a Now I Know My ABC sampler.
I'm going to be using that since this pattern is just one that Mom came up with.
Yep, I had charted a sampler to fit an 8x10 frame for all the girls in the cross-stitching class that I was teaching, and have since lost that pattern. So she's going to use this one by Blackbird Designs, and then I'm sure we can find a motif or something to put on the bottom, and it will be just fine. Okay, so my FFOs. No, my whips. Last week, I had shown you that I had started on the Snowy Village scene. I forget what it's actually called. From the Keepsake 2017 calendar. And as you can see, I've gotten a good deal done on it. I've got some right here that needs to be finished. I need to finish up stitching the roof. And then I've got a fair amount of back stitching to do. The problem right now is that I'm out of white and I have more ordered. It should be here any day now. but I've done all I can do without the white. So I put this one aside yesterday and picked up Miss Baxter's Cottage. So I'm working on the stripes of the house, and it's actually not bad. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I had put this down because I was sick of working on the stripes, but after working on so much snow, this wasn't bad at all. And I made my own needle minder. I don't know if you can see that. It says Guam, and it's in the shape of the island. It was a 99-cent keychain that I found yesterday while I was at Kmart. And so I took it home and made a needle minder out of it. And I found that it works really well, actually, for holding the linen out of my way so that I didn't have to hold it with my hand. So this is, I don't know how much I'll do on this. I'll probably continue to stitch until I get sick of the stripes again and then put it down. But like I said, I really want to get this one done now that I have a plan for it. For those of you who missed my video last week, I'm not going to take it out of the hoops, but I've got a nice little quote down here, and I'm going to fill in the bottom with some chickens, and we've got some bees and beehives. So this is going to be a cute little sampler when it's done. It is not going to look anything like the Miss Baxter that you know. And then, just as a kind of quick break from stitching, I got one of these snippets from Lizzie Kate. This is actually my first Lizzie Kate that I've ever done. I told the story in the last video, I think, that I had found some skeleton keys in some belongings of my ancestors. And so I wanted to make some Christmas ornaments out of them for my cousins. So I started stitching up, I'm just going to stitch Santa's face, and I'm going to finish him up and then attach the skeleton key to the bottom. I had seen somebody do something similar on Pinterest and liked the idea. So I started stitching, realized I was only using one strand because that's what I prefer to do when I'm stitching, but it was on 14 count Aida. So then I decided maybe I should figure out how it looks on with 2 strands, which I do like better. But then I ordered some, you know, that white fluffy stuff that everyone uses for Santa's beard and hat. So that's on its way from 123 Stitch. So I'm gonna see how it looks with that. But yeah, I'll be making a lot of these over the next year or so. So that's kind of, you know, if I need a quick project, I can grab it and take it with me. I actually worked on these, when was it? Was it Martin Luther King Day?
It was right after the last video.
That's right. We filmed the last video, and then we spent the day at one of the local pools, and I took this with me and I stitched by the pool, and it was wonderful. So those are my 3 whips. Hopefully the village will be done next time we film. I would love to get that done by the end of the month. We talked about your kids' stuff. So, okay, shout outs. I want to do shout outs. I never seem to have enough time to do them. So, Lisa Abbey's Needleworks, I have really enjoyed. I think she's got a couple of videos out. I've enjoyed watching her. Val Stitcher, if you haven't seen her, give her a look-see. Her name is Brittany, and she films with her daughter Lily, and they're practically neighbors because they're only an 8-hour plane flight away in Hawaii. So always have to support fellow Pacific Islander military spouse stitchers. Brittany, your chart is not in the mail yet, but I have not forgotten. Next time I get out to the post office, I will mail it off. And then finally, just the other day, I discovered Lisa's Stitchin stable, and I really like her designs. I like her house decor, so I'm definitely going to be watching everything that she puts out. And some thank yous to do. First of all, I was watching, I forget their channel name. Jordan at Little Stitch Girl and her mom, you know, they do their videos. and they announced that I had won a pattern from Jordan's Etsy shop, Little Stitch Girl, which I will link below. So the kids kind of liked one of the pineapple patterns, but I liked the pumpkin patterns, so Mom won out on this one. So can't wait to do those later on in the year when I'm in my fall stitching mode. And then you want to talk about, where's the big pattern? This one. So Allie at Allie's Stitchin Studio sent a package, and I will let you guys show that and talk about that.
So she sent us this very cute design with a horse and a kitty cat. It's by Britter Cup Designs.
So there's currently a small debate about who's going to stitch it, so it might get stitched twice. We'll have to see about that.
This is a sampler bookmark kit.
That one was my favorite because it has the beehive on it. And she also enclosed an adorable Christmas ornament. So thank you, Allie. That was very sweet. And hopefully we'll get to show you a finished design or two in the near future. I need to thank Lori. She sent me a pattern which is not here. But thank you, dear, for that. So I think that's it for thank yous. We moved right along. Mm-hmm. So plans. Eldest, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to continue to do my horse, and after I finish stitching the horse, I'm going to stitch on the same shirt. I'd rather be horseback riding.
Okay, so it's going to be working on the t-shirt project again. Mm-hmm. And we already talked about your plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sampler? What are you going to do after the sampler?
After the sampler, for Christmas, it was, well, I'm either doing Western or Classics. I'll have to look at my binder later.
I thought you were doing romance for February.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Yes, we did.
Oh. Anyway, she's doing romance in the month of February. My plans are a little up in the air at this point. The village scene is, like I said, hopefully done by the end of the month. I am not only waiting on an order with white floss to finish that, I also bit the bullet and contacted Nancy at Victorian Motto so that I could try her hand-dyed floss. I had seen some of you showing your January colors, or maybe someone showed their December colors, and then I went to her blog and saw the January colors, and I fell in love. And so she had some extras that she was making available to those who are not a part of her subscription. And so I was lucky enough to get one of those. And so when that order comes in, I am going to take a good look at the colors and figure out which of the next projects I want to work on. I have 3 charts that I think will work with those colors. But once I have them in hand and I can, see how they really look instead of not just on a computer screen, I will choose which of these projects that I'm going to work on. So I will show you the 3 of them. The first is from volume 4 of Sampler and Antique Needlework. It's actually the cover sampler. It is called the Janet Thompson Sampler. And I like the sampler, I just don't love the colors as charted. So I may do a conversion and stitch that one up. Or I may do Feliz Navidad, which I know some of you are working on. I love this sampler. I'm going to make a few changes so that it will fit into an 11 by 14 frame. But I think this is definitely a possibility with those colors. And then the final possibility is Forever Young by Heartstring Samplers. I love this chart. Again, I think I'm gonna make some changes so it fits in a standard frame. But like I said, I think any of these charts will look great because the colors, from what I can tell, are amazing. But once I have them in hand, I will determine what I stitch on next. I am very much, after stitching on the rooster and stitching that village scene, I am very much looking forward to getting back to stitching samplers. So yeah, I think that's it as far as plans go. Anything else you can think of? Short video today. Yeah, I do have to say that my thoughts and prayers are with a special stitching friend in South Carolina. You know who you are, know that you are loved, and we're thinking about you. I don't know when I'll be filming next. I assume it will be in a week or two, hopefully, to show you the village. I imagine that, what's your next day off? President's Day?
I don't know.
February something. They have days off all the time, so I'm sure that on one of these next 3-day weekends, we will be back to show you what they've been working on. Little one was saying that she hoped to get her sampler finished by the end of the year, and I had to tell her that samplers go so fast. So I think she's going to be pleasantly surprised when she starts stitching as to how fast those letterings go, which is why I can't wait to get back to samplers, because honestly, the village is going quicker than I thought it would. It's been so long since I've stitched a full coverage piece like that I didn't have any idea what to expect as far as how long it would take me to finish it. But I'm ready to get back to the world of samplers, which reminds me of the last thing that I wanted to talk about and almost forgot about. So, a lot of you are stitching His Eye is on the Sparrow, and I love that pattern. I have loved it since it first came out in 2014, but didn't really want to embark on such a huge project. And then Lori Mischievous Stitcher was talking about stitching it with Lorraine and some of her other girls, and it really got my wheels thinking that if I'm going to do it, now is the time. So I was hemming and hawing, and finally decided that I would ask my best friend back home if she wanted to do a stitch along, because if she said yes, okay, then I'll do it. But if she said no, then that let me off the hook and I wouldn't have to do it. So I sent her a picture and I said, do you want to stitch this monstrosity with me? And I never imagined that she would say yes, because her taste is a little less prim than mine. She's not very into the samplers. Her last piece that she stitched was the Prairie Schooler, but she tends more towards the Little House. Those are her charts she likes. So almost immediately an answer came back that said, yes, I love it, I want to do it, we're going to be 80 years old by the time it's finished, but count me in. So then I kind of got overwhelmed. Like, what have I done? We're going to have to stitch this huge thing. So we have decided that yes, we are going to stitch it, but we are going to wait to start it until this summer when I get back home. Stacy said we have to start it together because there's no way we're ever going to finish it together. And then I had seen one of our mutual friends posted on Facebook that she had completed a cross-stitch project. And I jokingly said, hey, Stace, maybe we can convince Lorinda to do Sparrow with us. And so then Lorinda said, what is it? I want to know more. And so she said she's in. So that means 3 of us are going to be stitching along on Sparrow come this summer. So I've been I've been debating whether or not I want to take the plunge and just buy the doubloon that's called for. This is an heirloom piece that will be in the family for years and years and years. So I can totally justify the price of a half a yard or a yard of doubloon. However, I could just as easy buy a yard of whatever I want, 32 count, 40 count, and dye it myself, and it would probably be half the cost. So I don't know. And then I'm definitely not going to do the called for colors. I may do DMC here and there, depending on what I think about the Victorian motto colors. I may order more from her. I don't know. But it's on the back burner for the summer. So keep those pictures coming because it's going to be inspiration to me. I know that, like I said, several of you are working on it. I know Heidi Cran is working her way through the apples and the leaves. So, yeah, keep going. I'm going to need the inspiration. All right, it's a short video, 21 minutes. We did fast. We will see you next time. Until then, I wish you fair winds and following seas.